This week at Macys, get great deals on fashion and home essentials. Update your wardrobe with 20% off new spring shoes and sneakers. And 20 to 50% off fresh looks for him and her. Plus, transform your space with Luxe Hotel Collection bedding, now 40% off. And Macys Star Rewards members can earn on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees. More at Macys.com/Star Rewards. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Not that I give much credence to anything that goes on at CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Committee, run by greedy Republican establishment lobbyist hacks like Matt Schlapp, recently got caught taking $750,000 from someone who wanted a pardon and didn't even deliver on the pardon. These people trade off of their connections, in this case, with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is being exploited by CPAC. He goes there. In fact, they opposed him when he first ran for the presidency. But of course, when he won, he was a cash cow, so they threw their lot with him. Most conservatives don't understand what CPAC is, just like they don't understand the Republican establishment fully. These are the people that gave us 300 worthless Trump judges. It's not just CPAC, but it's the Federalist Society. It's people like Don McGahn, the former White House counsel, who stabbed the president in the back with 12 hours of secret interviews with Robert Mueller. This is the problem. However, at CPAC, they did a straw poll. It's interesting to see who would win if, in fact, someone ran for presidency in 2024, at least win their poll. And only 32% said they would not vote for Trump. But on the other hand, there's 58% who said they would. Now, the president is not in a strong position. Unfortunately, he did lose the last election. He did many good things during those 4 years, and we can obviously see that in the context of how Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are destroying this country as we speak. It's already been turned into a socialist, communist dictatorship. Another executive order virtually every single day. But it is time, and the president made yet another mistake. He's made this mistake throughout by throwing his lot in with the Republican Party. The Republican Party's dead. They have accomplished nothing. They didn't even support him. They attempted to stab him in the back. And in fact, just think about Obamacare, which is now bigger than ever under Joe Biden. And think about the other things that they did not do, but promised the American people. Re-electing Republicans for a Republican House of Representatives is a worthless gesture because they don't have the strength. It's run, frankly, by an idiot, Kevin McCarthy, the minority leader. He hopes to become the majority leader. This is a guy who, during the Benghazi investigation, said it was only a political hit on Hillary Clinton. I mean, not a genius. Now, Freedom Watch is calling for a third Continental Congress in Philadelphia on Memorial Day weekend, May 31st. We're going to do it. And we are starting, not Freedom Watch, but another organization, a new political party. And I'm going to call it the New American Independence Party. I've already got the domain names. It's being set up, and we're going to do it. We are going to nominate a president. Now, if the president, and I still call him the president, Trump, wants to be nominated by this party, and he should abandon the Republican Party, it's worthless. I think he's trying to keep his allegiance to the Republican Party as kind of a cover because he knows that he's likely to be indicted by this rabid leftist Democrat district attorney in New York City, Cyrus Vance, the son of Jimmy Carter's former Secretary of State, frankly, who was a moron. We saw what happened with Iran and everything else at that time. But the president, if he wants to be nominated, he's going to have to clean up his act. First thing he's going to have to do is to get rid of the unsavory and dishonest people around him. People like Roger Stone, people like Paul Manafort, people like Rick Gates, people like Cohen, and people like Matt Schlapp, who runs the CPAC, okay, complete Republican hack. These people need to be removed. Secondly, he needs to get the Constitution, I'm not talking about the US Constitution, but the demeanor of a Ronald Reagan. He has to rise above the crowd. No more nasty tweets, no more off-color remarks, but he has to exhibit some class. And it's something he did not exhibit for 4 years, although he did some good things, did many good things. But even with the fraud, he would have won, I believe, if he had presented the image of a Ronald Reagan, of a real statesman, of someone who rose above pettiness. He needs to show strength. Although he shows more strength than the flip-floppy, worthless Republican Party, he took bad advice from conservatives who were part of that Republican establishment. They're not conservatives at all. He needs to take control. And if he became president again, he needs to take control of his Justice Department, because we have no Justice Department. It's the Department of Injustice. And we can see the FBI, that's part of that Justice Department, out into hinterland today, rounding up people that were there protesting on his behalf, like the Gestapo, to quell dissent. And of course, no one during President Trump's reign was held accountable. Comey, Clapper, Brennan, McCabe, the Lovebirds, the Obamas, and of course, the Bidens. He's the head of the executive branch. He needs to take control. And on top of everything else, the president needs to understand that he needs to be the president for all the people. Okay, it's not enough to get up there and brag. It's not enough there to say all these great things that we did. You have to give people confidence as to who they are. And you need to show your intelligence, okay? Intelligence isn't always everything. Street smarts are important as well, and the president has that. Ronald Reagan had that. But Ronald Reagan had the intelligence. Trump has the intelligence, but he needs to use it. And he needs to think clearly. These are the things that we need in a presidential nominee in 2024. And if Donald Trump does not clean his act up, 32% of the people, even at CPAC, voted against him to be president in 2024. That's not very good for someone who just became unemployed as a president who did a good job. So that's what I'm talking about. And I'm going to write a column on this, and I'm going to lay it out in more detail. But this is what I write about in my book. It takes a revolution, forget the scandal industry. We need people who really can lead this country. We need people with strength. We need people that don't take advice from the Republican establishment. The Republican establishment is dead. Move on from that. We need people who can communicate effectively with everyone. And if the president is going to run for president again, if Trump's going to run for president again, these are the things that he needs to do. Now, we don't have a leader right now that actually can run for president, and we're going to be seeking one at the Continental Congress. So go to freedomwatchusa.org. I'm going to get information up about that this week, and also our grand juries, our citizens' grand juries, where on March 17th, we will be seeking the indictment of Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and Frank Biden for massive bribery from communist China, the same butchers of Beijing that brought us COVID-19, that brought our country to our knees, financially, health-wise, and emotionally. So that's my message for today. President Trump, we thank you for what you did. But if you don't clean your act up, you're history. This is where we are. I'm giving you the straight, cold truth. Go out and buy my book, It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry. Read the Declaration of Independence. We need to rise up peacefully and legally. We need to wage a new revolution, and we, the American people, need to come together. There's no political messiah. But if we do have a new president, we want a new president like Ronald Reagan. God bless you. God bless your family. God save your family. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. Until then, thank you for listening to me.
Everything is confusing these days. Fiona's mom sent her a sad link about an animal shelter. Does she hit the like button, or what now? She's confused. Our Startups still starting? Is there a word for not starting startups? Is it working from home or living at work? Confused. These are confusing times, which is just about the right time to have the Burger King Impossible Whopper. A Whopper made without beef that tastes just like a Whopper. Confused.